Welcome to another week of training Miss Maisie. Today, as promised, we're going to start intro to heel. As you saw last week at the end of the video, my son Jack was walking Maisie on a leash, and that's kind of what we've continued through the week. I've started doing a little bit of heel work, but before we even got Maisie out, I just wanted to discuss with you exactly what it is that I've been doing. With a puppy like Maisie, instead of getting her in the correct position and saying heel, at the beginning I don't do that at all. I just want her to be comfortable in that position, knowing in a way that that's the right place to be before I start introducing the command itself. So for example, Maisie will be walking beside me on the leash. When she gets to where the correct heel position is, just on her own free will, as we're walking on the leash, I'll say good girl, and I really make an effort to praise her. As soon as she gets away from that position, everything stops. I'm very quiet. We just continue walking, and then she goes back, just again by accident, to that position. I again praise her for it. Again, that's before I use any commands at all, just so she's learning, just from the praise that I give her, where the position is that I want her to be. I hope that makes a little bit of sense to you. At this point now, when she gets away from where I want her to be, I cue her in a negative way. Again, not necessarily with the leash correcting her, but just with my voice. She knows the tone of my voice as far as what's good and what's bad, even at this young age. So in just a second, we're going to get Maisie out. I do want you to see, though, that I think good heel work starts right from the get-go. When she first comes out of the pen, when we're going to work, I don't let her just run out haphazardly. Not to say that I always am having her under control at this point, I don't, but in the beginning, when we're going to actually do our heel work, 100% under control from the get-go, and then once we've done 2 or 3 minutes of it, I let her off the leash and she gets to have a good time again. So it's not like this is a long and drawn out session. So I'm going to turn the camera around, put it on her kennel, and you'll see exactly what it's like right from the get-go, and we'll stop 2 or 3 times and get her in different positions. So here we go. As you can see, we're here at Maisie's kennel. She doesn't spend a whole lot of time in the kennel like the big dogs do, but today was a nice warm day out, and we decided to just let her spend a little time down here. So right from the get-go, we don't want her to be, like I said, out of control. We want her to be learning that we have to be in control right from the get-go. If this were a crate, I'd do the exact same thing. But just a little elementary thing, you all may know this. When you put a leash on a dog, one of these British slip leads, you want it to be in the shape of a P, like this, when it goes over their head. That way it's not, it will release on its own, and it won't get the dog in a bind where they start to choke if it gets tied on them. So just again, just a little bit of an elementary thing. You want it to be in the shape of a P as it goes over the dog's head. So we'll open the kennel up and get Maisie out. So put the lead on her, give her a little pat, little pet, and then we start off on our training. As you can see, we've had to abandon the tripod to get a good view of what Maisie's doing in the tone of my voice with her. So we're just going to take off walking here. I apologize for any shakiness the camera might have, but this is what is going to be necessary, I think, to get the view for y'all to see what's happening. So Maisie, 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 good. Come on. You can see she's doing very well. Walk out here into the sun a little. See if we can't get her to go awry. It's a very warm day, so she's likely just to stay right here by me. Doesn't want to exert too much energy and get too hot. Good girl. You can see there, some of you had mentioned sniffing the ground. When they start to do that, I just give a little bit of a pull on the leash, straight up, to get their head up there and give them a little bit of a negative word, whatever that may be for you. I just make a noise, basically. The other thing you can do is, if you'll watch my foot, I occasionally will be able to get my foot under her nose and lift it up off the ground. If she's doing that, you're not kicking the dog at all. You're simply just lifting their nose. But again, if you'll notice, I have not used the word heel once. She has really no clue what that word means. She just knows that it's a good thing to be right next to me. We'll stop here. Just a little bit of pressure on the leash. She sits right down. And we'll sit here and rest for a second with her. But one thing you please notice that when we do get ready to go, I want her eyes. I'm just going to say her name and have her look up at me. And then if I have to make a noise to get her up, I will. Maizie. Maizie. Burp, 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 burp. Hey, Maizie. Good. Good. Maizie. Hey, Maizie. Burp, burp. Good girl. We want eye contact before we start doing anything. This is kind of disappointing. I was hoping that she would actually... No, there's a good little... See, small collar correction, a lot of voice. Good girl, Mace. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Maizie, sit. Good girl. Again, a little bit of pressure on the leash just to get her bottom on the ground, and then as she's doing it, I said the word. But Maisie's not long from me actually introducing the word heel, for her to start learning that. But like I said, before I start saying words that she's confused on what's exactly wanted, I want her to be walking where I want her to be. If that makes sense. I hope it does. That way, when we do introduce the word, she's already doing the right actions. We don't have to be worried about things going wrong when we do that. So again, just as a wrap-up, with the puppy, when they're in the correct position, I just say, good girl, or good puppy, whatever the case may be. Very enthusiastic, very high-pitched voice. That way the dog understands, I think, that that's a good thing. That's where we want them to be. As soon as I move out of that, I either one, give them a neutral, which is nothing whatsoever, or two, I may give them a little bit of a low-pitched growl, no, or just making a noise of some sort in a low-pitched voice, to where they understand that may not be the best place to be. It's almost as if they're being growled at by their actual mother. Once the dog is pretty much staying in the correct area that I want them to stay at, then that is when I will start to introduce the word heel. I don't really want to use heel until the puppy's staying in an approximate location of where they're supposed to be. Otherwise, I feel like I'm saying heel, correcting, heel, correcting, heel, correcting, and I think they get a little bit confused on, what the right thing to do is. So that's why I wait just a little bit to introduce my actual command heel. I want the action first in this situation, and then the command is linked to it afterwards. You'll see in the next probably 3 to 4 weeks, I think I'll have Maizie probably off lead healing a little bit. And when I say off lead, I'll either have the lead just lightly wrapped around her neck, just so she still feels a little bit of something there, possibly even off altogether. But if it's off altogether, if I can make 10 steps, 12 steps, 15 steps off lead, I'm thrilled with that, with a young dog. And if they can do that, get the lead right back on them and finish the day with more heel work and just reinforcing exactly what it is that we want. Don't be in a hurry to get the lead off. There's nothing magical about that. It's just I've seen what she's done in the last week, and I really think that I can get her possibly off lead, like I said, in the next 3 to 4 weeks. If I don't, it's not a big deal to me at all. She will get to that point without question, and she'll be very, very good at it without question before we're all done. But again, I hope this is helpful. If there's questions about sniffing the ground, about introducing heel, anything, please post those on Facebook. Again, this will be on YouTube also, so if there's people that want to see it that aren't Facebook members, they can go to the Wildrose YouTube page, and it'll be there as well. Again, hope this has been helpful. We look forward to seeing you back again next week for another week of training Miss Maizie.